Hello and welcome to Trapping Radio 2.0. This is your host, Jeff Dunlap. We're going to be talking tonight about, first of all, I'm going to be reading to you an article I read out of the Trapper magazine, and I'll do it as quickly and as clearly as possible, and then I want to make a few points on it. I think it's important, when people in associations make thoughts known and their opinions. Sometimes if you don't agree with them, even if you do like the person, I think it's important to, push back. So we're going to see a little bit of that tonight in a nice way, like a love tap. And so then we're also going to get into, had a lot of questions on going out of state, how to, get everything around and stuff like that. So how to find property. So that's going to be what we're going to cover tonight. This article, it was in the Trapper magazine this month. Jeremy Laskow from up at the UP. He is the UP Trappers Association District 5 president. And I know Jeremy personally. He's a really nice guy. Always been nice to me. Always is there to help. Setting stuff up. So this is not a dig on him or anybody else. This is just my opinion on some of the stuff that, like he mentions in the article. So the name of the article is, I believe it's Disappearing. I could be wrong on that, but I think it's Disappearing. I can't. Here, we'll look. Oh, there it is. It's called The Disappearance. So I'm going to read this real quick. It's this is the computer age, the era of instant at your fingertips information. Whenever the subject, whatever the question, the answer is only a few clicks away. Want a beaver lure recipe? Just go to any search engine, type it in, and voila, there it is. How do I fix the brakes on my truck? Bingo, there's the answer. But there's a downside to all this easy, free information. Trappers, by using all these online resources to learn things and find answers to trapping related issues, are shooting themselves and ourselves in the foot. We are killing the very things that are keeping trapping alive. The National, State, and Local Trappers Association organizations such as the NTA, FTA, and all the smaller trapping organizations spread through across the country. These organizations are the glue that bind us together, and they were all organized long before the current technology we all have access to was ever dreamed of. They bring us together and make us stronger as a group than we can be individually. They serve as our advocates in the political arena, and they provide forums for trappers to come together periodically to socialize, buy supplies, and learn from each other. But all this free information on the internet is taking the place of much of that. If I can get all the answers I need right away from the internet, why do I need to go to a trappers meeting to ask questions? If I can watch a free YouTube video on how to trap a mink, why do I need to buy the video from the trapping supply company? If I can read all the free online articles and tips on how to become a trapper, why do I need to buy that book someone took the time to research and write? Recently, at our Regional Trappers Association meeting, we spoke about membership, or lack thereof, the scarcity of new younger volunteers and the old timers that are now burnt out. Who's going to take over? Who else is there but us? At that meeting, I expressed my concern about the free info on the internet and my belief regarding it, and I was told it can't be changed. Well, I don't know if I can ever be completely corrected, but I think we can help make it better. All of the trapping, hunting, and fishing organizations that belong to have one thing in common: to protect what we love doing. We want our trapping, hunting, and fishing heritage to be available to those that are coming behind us, long after we are gone. The 1970s and 1980s brought an influx of PETA and other anti-trapping, hunting organizations and groups, and they have not gone away. We've had some remarkable successes in beating back the anti-efforts of these groups. We sure haven't won them all. Ask Colorado or New Jersey about that. And this isn't an article, but also New Mexico. But you can imagine what our trapping opportunities would be like if the NTA, FTA, USSA, and similar groups would have rolled over and played dead. I'm pretty sure we wouldn't be needing to talk about this today because they would have won long ago. So let's not let the internet win today. Yes, take advantage of the convenience and the river of information provided by our computers and cell phones. We'd be fools not to. But let's not do it at the expense of the state, local, and national Trappers Association organizations that have had our backs all these years. At the very least, keep your memberships active. If at all possible, attend one or more of the association meetings each year. Buy your supplies from dealers who advertise in the association magazines or who attend the state and national conventions. We must jump this hurdle. We must stand together and be involved with our local and national organizations and not rob them of too much of their thunder by flooding the internet with free information. Instead, why not point newcomers and veterans too, for that matter, in the direction of these trappers associations? I've personally watched newbies ask on Facebook, where do I start? And of course, we all want to tell them everything we know. We want to help. Most of today's trappers are the total opposite of trappers 100 years ago when it comes to info. A century ago, everything was a secret. You didn't dare tell people your secrets. Now, look at any Facebook group and you will see that there are very few secrets left. Sure, we need to help these newcomers, but we also need to get them involved in the organization so we can have a stronger voice. Doing otherwise is, as previously mentioned, shooting ourselves in the foot. We can only shoot ourselves in the foot so many times before it's gone. Jeremy Lasko, UP Trappers Association District 5 President, www.trappermag.com. And that was in September 2023, which is weird because this is like July and it's in September 2023. So, anyways, I don't know. I just know it was in the Trappers Mag. They must put them out early or something. It's saying the Trapper September 2023. So that's weird that in July, unless I'm this is a deja vu moment. Like I said, I think a lot of Jeremy. He's a good guy. I know him personally from going to the UP Trappers and Kinross, and he's not a mean guy, vindictive guy. He's just a good guy. And me and him agree on a lot of stuff, and I'm sure we disagree like on this. We disagree on some stuff like this, and it's just the way it is. But I just wanted to, tell my thoughts on a couple of these things. It's like, and this isn't just Jeremy's opinion. The thing is, if this was just Jeremy wrote the article, but this is the opinion of a lot of the people in the associations. Not all, for sure. You got a lot of people that use the internet and do a fantastic job and do wonderful things for the trapping. And I'm just talking about the association, not, it's like Rusty Kramer. He's used the internet and Facebook and stuff to build up their auction, to build up the association to better than it's ever been. You got, ones like Rusty Kramer who are big proponents of using internet stuff. But there's a lot of other ones that are not, and they're not all the older guys. There's a lot of them, but not all of them are the older guys. So, and I'm trying to be You know, I guess you'd say politically correct, which doesn't normally fit me, but I'm trying not to, I don't know, come across as a, an asshole to them guys, Because, I mean, like I say, I mean, most of them guys I really like. I mean, yeah, is there some I don't like? Yeah, there's some I don't like. I mean, nobody likes everybody. But the thing is, as far as Jeremy's article, and what a lot of these other ones think, is it's like somebody gets a hold of me about getting into trapping. Now, let's just think about that for a second, okay? Now, do I believe that they should go and join the Michigan Trappers Association if they're from Michigan? Absolutely, I do. Do I believe that they should go off and join the Nationals? Yes, I do. Do I think that they should join Fur Takers? Maybe not as much as the Nationals, but yeah, fine. That'd be like if you were from Michigan, join Michigan Trappers #1, the Nationals #2, and the Fur Takers, a distant third. But just for the fact of that, I think that the NTA fights more battles than what the Fur Takers did, unless I'm mistaken. And that's just my personal opinion. How I would. But my thing is, do I want them to come to their convention? Absolutely, I want them to come to their convention. I set up as a dealer. I pay $100 per table. Spend thousands of dollars to go to these things. Absolutely, I want them to come to their event. But am I under obligation to send them to the NTA? You know what? Maybe it's time for these trapping associations not to think that they're in the 1970s anymore and start getting their own social media stuff built up. The thing is, if you have a quality product, you don't need me to recommend. They already know about joining your association and what the benefits are of it, and you're training them. Yeah, you do lots of great things, but it's not my obligation to send people. Do I send them to you? Yeah, but it's not my obligation to send them to the NTA. I mean, it's not my job. My job is to get people into trapping, promote trapping and stuff, not grow the membership of the NTA or the Michigan Trappers or whatever. Do I do it? Yeah, but that is to have it where the online people that are doing stuff online do the job for the NTA. We're not on the board. We're not making decisions. We didn't ask for anything. So I get. Anything I want somebody to do for me, I got to pay. I put an ad in the NTA's magazine, I got to pay. So they're not giving me anything. So I guess it's, in my opinion, we can all work together, but, it's not the online people's responsibility to send the people to the NTA or the Michigan Trappers or the Fur Takers, that's just my opinion. Do we do that all the time? Absolutely, we do that all the time. I put up stuff all the time about joining the Michigan Trappers. Well, recently I haven't, but I always had been. So. Jeremy says, I personally watch newbies ask on Facebook, where do I want to start? Where do I start? And then, he said that we want to help and that we keep things a secret. The difference between, 100 years ago when they were keeping the secrets and even in 1970, 1980, them guys were doing this stuff for a living. There was a reason why they didn't want to go out and tell their secrets to everybody, because what happens is, it's like, for instance, Mark June did not do any instructions. Okay, Mark told me this himself. So he's living in southern Michigan. He decides, I'm going to do instructions. He takes a guy out, and on the first year he's doing instructions, trapping instructions. He gets done with instructions. By the next fall, the guy has half of his farms he's trapping, because that's the only place the guy knew to go. So that's what happens is you take somebody to your muskrat marsh, they don't got anywhere else to go. They don't know. So right there. So, now is it a life or death matter? No. But I'll tell you what, in 1978, when fox prices are up, I can guarantee you my dad he's got his own kids to feed. He's not going to be taking people out. So most of us aren't like that anymore, where every dollar you make is your income. So it's easier to be free with the information, and people started making DVDs, putting the DVDs out, and people didn't like that. And then it's like with the online stuff, some of them didn't like that. But there's been more people getting into trapping from the online stuff than anything that any of these associations are doing at this point. Because, it's like Trapper Jay, all these other guys, whether you like them or don't like them or whatever, they touch people that you are not going to touch. And I think it's great. I think it's great that Trapper Jay is out there doing videos. Does some of his stuff get crazy sometimes? Absolutely it does. Does that make it where some people don't like it? Yeah, some people don't like it. There's a big bunch of people that do like it, and they go out and are going to try trapping and get into it. And even if they don't stick with it, they're not going to be our enemies. So, hats off to Trapper Jay and 330 Maniac and a lot of these other guys and ladies, that are out there doing it. Because that's where all these new people are coming to associations. A lot of them are coming from the guys like that are out there promoting trapping online, because that's where people get exposed to it. That's where their time is spent. So, the other thing is, it's like with the, Jeremy says but all the free information on the internet is taking place of much of that. And if I can get all the answers I need to on the internet, why do I need to go to a trapper's meeting to ask questions if I can get it all for free on YouTube? There's some people that are like that. There's just some people that aren't. But the thing is if you take the percentage of trappers before that went to any meetings or was involved or went to conventions, the number was probably lower than what it is now. As far as percentage-wise of people that, the trap that went to anything to do with trapping, so I don't think that much has changed. In fact, if anything, I think that people will go to the thing because you have people like me and other people going around videotaping how much fun we have at these conventions. We're set up at the tables all day, but, we walk around and afterwards, shoot videos and stuff like that to show how much fun these are and, what's going on. And, that gets people to say, well, that does look like a good time. So I just think that, the leadership in some of these associations need to take a look at, what they're doing. If you have a good product, people are going to buy the product. Maybe not, physically give you money, but they're going to come to your events, join your association and stuff like that. If you got a shitty product or you have a great product, but you're selling it in a shitty way, you know what? Nobody's going to buy your product. Nobody's interested in your product. So I think that, don't look at like you're in the 1970s and 80s anymore and wait for people to come to you. Maybe go out like all the rest of us have and, be on the tip of the spear and get people involved in trapping, expose, people to trapping. And I think you'll see a lot different thing. So I appreciate Jeremy's opinion on all this. I have a difference of opinion, but that's the great thing about America is you can put your opinion out there, and if somebody doesn't like it, they can debate you, or they can tell you to kiss their ass. Might even get hit in the head. In the old days. Now you get arrested for hitting people in the head. It was a lot better. You give somebody a little love tap, because of smart mouth or something, and you didn't get arrested for attempted murder or some bullshit. I've had a love tap given to me, and I've gave love taps, but not them days are gone, unfortunately. So we have had a lot of questions on going out of state. So people like right now are seeming to is sometimes it just comes in waves, but people are seeming to this time of year to start planning for where they're going to be going. Like I got a call from Nick Ernie yesterday. He was one of them, and then there was like 4 or 5 other ones that sent me messages on it. He said, "Where are we going to plan on going this year? What are we going to plan on doing?" And the thing is, it's fun to start planning now because it gives you what it does is it gives you time to get all your ducks in a row between now and let's say you're going to go to Arkansas in February. I mean that's you think, well, shit, that's 6-7 months away. I got lots of time. It's really not that much time. When pretty soon you're in October, November, you're trapping rats or you're trapping coyotes, and then pretty soon you're pulling them for deer season, and pretty soon you're through deer season, and then you're resetting on the first snow to try and catch a few more coyotes, and then pretty soon you're in middle of January thinking, shit, I wish I took care of this in July. So the ball just keeps rolling. Till you quit breathing, the ball just keeps rolling, and that's the thing is have I always done it that way where I went and planned out in July? No. Sarah's kind of makes me plan a little bit more now, but I've decided to go out of state and just throw the shit in the truck and drive to, Louisiana. Didn't even know where I was going, and didn't have much money to get there on. I've done that before, but it's always more enjoyable when I've got a plan. So, this time of year, if I was going to start, I would decide what I was going to do. Like, and I'll give kind of examples of like when me and Nick are talking. We started, saying, what do we want to trap? I said, well, I always want, like it when we all go beaver and otter trapping together, but I don't really want to go back necessarily to the same area in Louisiana. If I was going to go, I'd want to go further south because, I want to, trap. I want to go down there and trap on some of the crawfish ponds. I've never done that before. I trapped Louisiana, I don't know, 10 years, 11 years, on and off. And I always want to go down to the crawfish ponds. I've never even been down there trapping them. So I would love to go do that. Maybe catch some of the mink if I'm in the area where they're at and catch otters. So I told them, I would love to go do that. I said the cat prices are up, which we're not justifying what we're going to do on the money part of it, but it's nice to be able to sell them. Plus, we have a market to sell, I don't know, about 30 or 40 nutria probably, so, we catch, them. And pay for the trip, the expenses, and everything else. So I told him, I says, well, we could go, trapping the cats, but I don't know, that far down south, them cats, might not be that great. I don't know, because I've never trapped, down in that area before, so I don't know if they could be the greatest in the world, but I doubt it. And he said, well, I got a spot over by Memphis we can trap, and we talked about, that spot, and, the guy wants everything killed off, but there's a ton of cats in there, and he's, Nick's tried to get down there the last 2 years, but it's been flooded both times. The guy could get him to come down there, and, and then, we want, again, was talking before about, wanting to go out of state, trapping cats this year, and then we were looking at, South Texas, me and Sarah were, and he's talking to Clint about going down there possibly with, a guy from Pennsylvania, and Albert, and he doesn't have his partner to go with anymore, and he's got, like, I don't know, 200,000 acres or something he's trapping down there by himself. And so then Clint started telling Sarah about, the rattlesnakes, how many there is, and The rattlesnakes and the scorpions. I'm like, yeah, maybe we won't be going down there. but we are seriously looking at South Texas. If we didn't go with Albert, because I ain't talked to him yet, maybe somewhere else. Always seems to work out. But, definitely would like to go land trapping this year out of state. And, that's the thing is like you see the pattern is we're looking for what we want to go do, and then once we decide, what, we want to go cat trapping. If we go beaver trapping, otter trapping, we like the otter, the look of them there in Louisiana, and what we're getting, the beaver meat. We got there's a lot of beaver there, so we need the beaver meat and the casters. So, we have access to them. But we can come up with spots to go trap beaver, and we like going there because of the laws. But but with the cats, you start looking at we definitely want to go trap cats this year. But where do we want to go? Do we want to go to West Memphis or Memphis? Do we want to go to South Texas? The cats there's probably a bunch of cats in South Louisiana, like North Louisiana, but what do they look like? Is that what we want to do is go trap a bunch of junky cats, if that's what they are. And so you got to decide what you want to go trap. And once you decide, hey, I want to go trap cats, South Texas is going to be the big number place to go. But do you want to drive that far? Can you get a place to stay? Because you're not going to just get in your vehicle, drive to South Texas, and start driving around and probably come up with, you might get lucky, but most of the time you're not going to come up with any permission because it's all fenced in with gates, and you can't get back to anybody you need to talk to off the main road. So it's just miles and miles and miles of high fence. So you got to kind of have a plan before you go there, if you ain't from there. And I'm definitely not from there. I talk funny when I'm down there. So that's what they say. So, you want to, pick your animal that you want to trap, and then decide, how far do you want to go, and, where's a high number of these that I want to trap. And, that's the two things we're looking at. If we were going to South Texas, would we put them up? I'd probably, put the cats up right down there, because we're not going to be saving any of the coyotes we catch. I'm just, be putting up the cats and badgers or whatever. So we take some stretchers with us and push pins and all that stuff and put them up down there. If we go to Louisiana or let's say Arkansas, what we're going to do is have to take freezers with us, put the meat, the beaver meat in, stuff to gut the beaver, cut the heads off, cut the tails off. It's a whole different operation, and we're not putting up any fur, there because the humidity, we're not set up for it. The humidity, one day you can put have a beaver scrape, have it on the board or on a hoop, and it feels like it's dry. With the humidity, the next day it feels like it's just like you just scraped it. So you got to have a dehumidifier and all this shit down there. So it when you're going out of state, it's going to be depend on where you're going, what you're going to do. And now it's like going down south trapping southern beaver. There's really good money. I mean, you're getting paid hatter price, which is by the pound if you put them up, or 20. We got $24 nose count. We had Louisiana, Arkansas, Michigan, and Iowa, which actually Louisiana's beaver to me looked better than Iowa beaver where we were trapping. So we got 4 different areas we had beaver, and we got 24 nose count. So that's for a southern beaver, that's pretty damn good. Best I ever did before that was average. I think it was 21 or something like that, and that was put beaver up to NAFA like in 2012, 2013, something like that. I put up them Louisiana beaver, and I put up. I don't remember how many coyotes it was. I never did put them coyotes up before, but I put them up and averaged $18. And I got a quarter for some, and I got like big money for other ones. And if you put them in a pile, I couldn't tell you which ones were the good ones and which ones were the bad ones. They all look like shit. So, so that was the only year I ever did that. I was like, yeah, I just got lucky. Most time, I would do something like that, then try and repeat it, and it turned to shit. But I'd be like Clint when he got 25 cents a piece, and he put up all them South Texas coyotes. He got like 25 cents a piece, and then he had to split it with his two partners. But so the thing is so you're going and picking the animal you want to go trap, and then where you want to go trap, the distance, and then deciding if you're going to put up the stuff or if you're going to haul it back home, because you got to. It doesn't take long to fill up. You start trapping beaver down south, and then, you start catching, even 5, 6, 10 beaver a day and skinning them and keep the carcass or whatever. It doesn't take long to start running out of freezer space, So, you're going to have this stuff all lined up. And the other thing is finding a place to stay. I went and looked for like places then like in the advertisers and stuff like that, but you can look on different websites, and you can rent houses and all that other stuff. I can't remember the damn name of it. Airbnb is one of them. You can rent houses by the month or whatever, and so best always to tell people kind of what you're doing, because of, you get there and start skinning beaver on their front lawn, there might be a problem. So it's best. The other thing is a lot of times down south, the campgrounds, a lot of times they have them FEMA trailers in there, and you can rent those. It was better years ago now they got a bunch of Mexican, I don't know, pipe layers or something, construction crews, and, they rent them to them a lot, and so it's harder to get into them. But, if you look now, you might be able to, book it ahead, if you're going down there for a week or something. But a lot of the campgrounds and stuff have cabins, FEMA trailers, stuff like that, and if it's after deer season, which that's generally when you're going to want to go down there, say to the south, is after their deer season, because nobody wants you on their property before that. And you get away with road trapping in Louisiana, during deer season. I've done that, but, it's always better after. But calling campgrounds, stuff like that. If you had a camper you're hauling down there, even better, but... those are generally the cheapest. If you go rent a motel room, for 2 weeks, maybe, you can, have your stuff on a trailer and plug the thing into your room, or they have other thing, outside on the light poles. Sometimes they'll have the plug-ins, and I've done that before, where you plug it in and stay in a motel. That's a pain in the ass. But when you're out of state trapping, sometimes that's just the way it is. Trying to think of some other questions that people have been asking. The one thing is when I go to a state and I gonna trap there, I always join their association. I figure out you're a guest there, and they've got it set up where I come there and trap. I'm not going to go there and cause them no problems, and I figured out how to pay to join the association. So that's one thing I personally always do and recommend to other guys and women that go out of state trapping. Join. If I go to Louisiana trapping, I'm gonna join their association. I generally do anyways, unless I forget for a year or so. But then. I'll see them guys and I'll think, shit, I gotta go and join the association, because there are a lot of good guys down there. But it doesn't matter if it's Iowa or wherever. I join, wherever I go trapping generally. And so I think, that's important. And the other thing is just remember, like me being from Michigan or wherever you're from, and you go out of state trapping, you're just a guest there. We're all Americans and stuff, but when you go to a different state, they got different rules. They have to deal with different legislatures and stuff when they're fighting for the rights or not to get taken away. Don't go like down to Iowa. You can use 220s, but you have to be a certain distance away from any houses and stuff. And I don't want to say what it is because I'm not real sure as I'm sitting here. I think I know what it is, but it's been since last fall I had to worry about it. But the thing is you go by somebody's house. So say you're trapping Iowa. You go by somebody's house, even if you're a legal distance away with a 220. If you see their dogs, barking at you, chasing you down the road, just don't use a 220. Put a DP there. You can still legally sit there. You're gonna, catch the coon. Just don't go out of state and cause people that live there a bunch of problems. And I know most of you won't, and you never would do it on purpose. But I, just mention these things that I think of, and I'm always really conscious of that I don't go somewhere and cause somebody problem. Not that it can't just happen on its own, because sometimes shit just happens, and we don't mean it to happen. It just happens. But after you find a place to stay, that being one of the main things, is just take enough money to go do what you're doing. And you always want to ask, the land people, are they going to, give you a place to stay? If they don't have a place to stay, are they going to pay for a place? Sometimes it's yes, sometimes it's no. But if you tell them, hey, I'll just, if they say no, we don't have any place, they say, I'll come down there and trap the stuff for you, but I need a place to stay. So I need, where would you recommend? Anybody's got anything cheap, a hunting camp or something I can rent? And a lot of times the first year is the hardest because they don't know you. Imagine it reversed where you're going to have somebody come up to your place, and then you're going to go put them up in a buddy's cabin, and you don't know, are they, going to be busting stuff up? But like the second year, they're good guys, you had no problem. Yeah, I will, hey, to put you over here and it'll be great. And, but the first year, you got to realize where they're coming from and go up and beyond to keep everything cleaned up and, no problems, and, once they get to know you, it's a lot better. But a lot of it is, just making the connections with the right people. It's like anything else in business or in life. Just making the right connections at the right time. The thing is if you happen to talk to somebody and they have something else maybe that you don't want to trap, necessarily, but it'll get you open the door, just go do it. I've done that lots of times, right? I don't want to go, over there and, trap, possums around, their chicken houses, but I go do it, so that I can have access to everything else. And you help them out, and then they get you on some other ground, and it just kind of snowballs, because there isn't tons of trappers around. So, if they find a good one, there's a lot of people who want to take advantage of that. So, but I've went out of state, first out of state trip I went to was with I was real young. I don't even remember it, but I remember going out. The first one I remember is going out of state in fifth grade. My dad took me out of school for 2 weeks, and I went down with him down to Alabama. My uncle was down there and some other guys, and he had a Chevy truck we took down there, I think, and we got in Tennessee and got in a snowstorm, ice storm, and it was. I remember the whole damn thing, and it was a lot of fun. I think that's one of the things that makes it where I like to go out of state, especially down south. Because that's what my dad did, and I got to deal with him, and I loved it, and always loved it down south, and the people are really nice, um, so and they have a lot of problems with the beaver, and I like to kill beavers, so I mean we're a good team, um, but I think if you go down, start planning your trip, maybe you want to go out to Kansas, um, or Nebraska, coyote trapping. I mean, if I wanted to go on a coyote trapping trip, first thing I would ask myself is, what do I want to do? Do I want to catch a lot of coyotes, or do I just want to catch a few? And if you just want to catch a few, some people like to go. They like to go on a trapping trip and not kill themselves. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to go out and have go out of state and run a dozen or 2 dozen traps and sit around and drink beer the rest of the day and just see the country and stuff. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing says when you go out of state that you have to go kill yourself. Just set from daylight till dark. Most people, that's what they want to do. But just getting out of state is it's cool because it's not where you have the honeydew list where you have to take the garbage out and you have to shovel the step, or you have to do this, or you have to do that. It's just when you wake up in the morning, it's all about trapping. When you go to bed at night, right before you go to bed, it's all about trapping. Where am I going tomorrow? What line are we going to run? So everything is all about trapping or putting up fur, skinning it, get it in the freezer. It's different than being at home. I mean, at home, you got other responsibilities you have to do besides. When you go out of state, that's pretty much just all trapping. And I mean, it's a great feeling. I wish I could live my whole life like that, 12 months out of the year, where I didn't have to worry about anything but going trapping. So that would be awesome. And I can see some of you nodding your head. Yep, that would be awesome. So, but if you wanted to go, just kill a few coyotes, and I would plan a trip, say to somewhere where you get some really nice looking coyotes, like maybe North Dakota, something like that. If you wanted to get catch a bunch of them, you're gonna want to go to like Nebraska, Kansas, something like that. And it's all depends on what you want to, what you're expecting to get out of the trip. As far as you get a partner involved, and then there's what you guys both want out of the trip, or if there's multiple people. It would be, what everybody wants. And the more people you get involved, the more opinions there are on what they want to do, and the more screwed up shit gets, So my thing is if you went with a good friend or somebody 1, 2 people max, it worked good, with our group because we're all on the same page that we just want to go out there and have fun. And we enjoy each other's company. We're such tight, close friends. If you have something like that, fine. Otherwise, just go with one other person, two other people at the max. But generally, I would have it where it was hammered out what everybody expects to get out of the trip, what the fur split up's going to be. Have everything hammered out where there's no problems. And sometimes there's still going to be problems. But the main thing is if you have a breakdown, just don't let it get too big, and just talk to everybody in the group. Has a talk. We had problems on one trip this year where we had other people around, and we had kind of a blow up. But in the end, we all still are got to be. We're still friends, and nobody. Went too far off the rails about it. Probably I'm the most radical, so I probably went the farthest off the rails. And all I do is when I'm pissed off, I just don't talk. I just simmer, and try not to, boil. And, and so, just let everything kind of settle down. Everybody talked afterwards, and, everything went smooth after that. So, but you get a lot of people involved. There's a lot of opinions. And, when, people have opinions, they're going to have disagreements. That's just the way it is. And, and so, just pick your people you go out of state with, because this is your time and what you want to go do, and it's your money you're spending and your time off of work. Just make sure that you pick the people, because they can make or break your trip as far as you having fun, because you ride around all day with somebody, sniffing, and that bothers you. It will ruin your trip after a while. They go out there and they're shitting their pants all day, and that bothers you. It's going to ruin your trip all day. So just pick your person wisely who you're going to go out of state with. If you don't, I guarantee you, I'll see you at a convention. You'll be like, oh my God, you're not going to believe the freaking nightmare, that I had. But if you get any questions on going out of state trapping, just get a hold of me. I'll help you any way I can. I went out of state a lot of times and still learn stuff, about getting stuff around and all that. I'm getting better about not taking as much stuff. I don't need 300 or 200 330s on a 24-hour check. I just don't. I can't run that many. So it's best to, just take what you think you're going to need, and, not piles and piles and piles after that. But it took me have Sarah say, "What do you can't set all these traps? You didn't 2 years now. You haven't set all these traps. Why do you keep bringing them?" I'm like, oh, "Shit, they were in the pile. I just bring the whole pile." So I was like, "This, that seems kind of stupid." But I just start loading them up, and I'm like, "Well, shit, I might need them." But well, we're getting. Like I say, if you if you want to go out of state, get a hold of me, and I'll definitely help you any way I can. Short of giving you my location where I'm going to be, and then, but short of that, if you need any help, I'll definitely help you. If somebody wanted to go to Louisiana, I do could give you the spot where one spot where I stayed. I had trouble with dog hunters there. To the north, but there was places that you could rent just north of Alexandria, so that's the spot where I knew that they had cabins and stuff. So I don't even know what the price is. It's been like 5 years ago I stayed there. So get a hold of me if you need help. Before we wrap this up, we're getting ready to go to the NTA. I believe we're leaving. This is Friday. So we're leaving. We want to get out of here on Monday, but there ain't no way in hell we're getting out of here on Monday. Don't tell Sarah. And so I think we're going to be probably leaving here Tuesday to head up to Escanaba, and really looking forward to going up there. It is always a fun time. We enjoy going to their regular convention they have in Escanaba. Roy and all those have done a great job up there, putting it on year after year. And, he gets the whole community involved. And that's a great thing about having trapping convention, especially a nationals in Escanaba, is I don't know about this time, but the last 700 times they've had it up there, which really been like, I think 3. But they have signs out front, welcome trappers, everything great about trapping, that they're happy to have us there. I went to the Illinois convention. Didn't see that at the NTA. Didn't see that out to Hamburg when they had the convention out there. Um, so it's nice to have it in a spot where the people are grateful that you're there spending money and having us in their community. Um, so it's really great to have that when you go to a convention. But we enjoy going up there because of that. On their normal years when they don't have an NTA. So if you ever get up that way, make sure you go to the Escanaba regular convention. And it's been a really cool convention. I remember going. I don't know how old I was, young teenager. I was up there sitting at Ken Smyth's booth. He's the one that came up, or put out the bottom edge set. He'd be across the hallway from Charlie Dobbins would be over there working on his trap. So, there was always a lot of, really cool people that went there. I can't remember the guy's name right now that used to sit there and blow the coyote calls. When I get off here, I'll remember his name. Shoot. Real nice guy. I can't remember his name. Anyways, he was there, and I've always enjoyed that convention. It's just laid back, a lot of nice people up there, and that we're really looking forward to going up there this time. We'll be in the main building, so stop by and see us. You won't see Dunlap Lures or She Traps or Predator Control Group on the flyers or anything. It's under Trapping Mafia. We did that because I was blackballed with the NTA for years, and they said that they were going to try and put me in a bad spot. So I'd asked Clint to get me tables because I said, I don't want to be put in a bad spot just because I'm blackballed, And so I went and Clint got me tables, and then we just had another person wanted to set up. Another person wanted to set up with us, and pretty soon we had all of our friends, set up together, and that's how it all started. Plus, when you pick tables, you go up there and pick tables. Let's say I pick tables with for the NTA. I might be in this building, and Jeff Haggerty or Nick Ernie's in two different buildings. Well, if you're not set up by that person, I don't see them all day long. And I'm paying lots of money to set up there, and I want to hang out with my friends and go down there and joke with them and play practical jokes on them, and that is the fun part of doing this and going to the convention is to get to hang out with your friends. We couldn't be by each other. A lot of the conventions are like that, so I'm like, let's just all be, you guys, get in our group, and we'll, get tables together so we can set up by each other, and it works out great. And I'm glad I'm not blackballed by the NTA anymore. That's really nice. So, anyways, I guess that's about it. I really appreciate everybody listening to this. We're going to be trying to get as many, different people on this as we can. I've already talked to a couple of them. I hate to say too much because of the fact of, I want to have the good interviews on here, not listen to them on somebody else's podcast where they didn't have the idea who to get or able to get them. And then, you know what I'm saying? It's like monkey see, monkey do. And so, but I'm trying to get some podcasts that with interviews with people that I would hope that you guys would really enjoy listening to, and I've had some people give me suggestions on, getting like Bob Jameson and people like that. The problem is that, like out the Pennsylvania show, I don't think Bob Jameson was there. A lot of them guys, if they don't go to the conventions, I don't see them, and I'm not out in Bob Jameson's town to get them. So I get who I can get, so what we'll do is do the best we can. I definitely am trying to, get the best interviews that I can. And, if you guys got a connection with somebody that, so let's say like Michael Waddell, if you know him, we'll do one with Michael Waddell. Michael Waddell traps. I sent him a message, and they haven't got back with me yet. I'm still waiting on my phone. But, Michael Waddell traps, Ted Nugent traps. I mean, he's bought Hellfire and Soul Taker before. All them guys do predator stuff on their properties, and those are the guys I want to try and get. I think they got interesting stories. I don't care about Michael Waddell turkey hunting. Turkey hunting means nothing to me. All it is, turkeys are his feed for what I like to go out and chase. What I care about is to hear how Michael Waddell got into the trapping and was exposed to it, and that's what I'm interested in. Not the same, turkey killing stories. So I'll let somebody else do those. I'll do the trapping ones. So, anyways, if you guys know somebody that you think it'd be a good fit on the show, if you just think they're a great trapper, they got some hints and tricks or whatever that will make my life or somebody else's life easier with just a couple things, get a hold of me. I definitely interested. So, all right. Thank you all. See you next week.